Hello, welcome to Tony's Bonsai. We've got some interesting work to do today on a Nothofagus southern beech, so let's take a look. They make gorgeous trees, these Nothofagus. I bought this early last spring from a bonsai centre. It was only cheap, I think it was £6. I grew it on, I wired it up, and it's turned into quite a nice shaped tree. However, as you can see, this half of it keeps dying off. The leaves go brown, then red, and it's doing it again this year. I did a repot as an emergency sort of last November, and I hoped that it would all come on really healthy, but again it seems to be dying. I did do a bit of damage inside here last year when I was removing some wire, and I wondered if that was the problem. I suspect there's not enough nutrients going up the bark here to feed the top of the tree, because this piece here that's also got some damage is also weak. When I did the emergency repot last year, I changed the angle. The tree was actually more like that, but just because I needed to get it in nice and solid and secure, I temporarily changed the angle down to this, but it's just not thriving at all. There is a significant part of me thinking to chop it right at the back, right down to the base. But I think first of all, I'll not go so drastic. I'll just remove some of this foliage from the top to hopefully help the tree out, so it can now, with it having less demand on this trunk, as the sort of the wounds repair, hopefully it'll be able to deal with this. So I think that's a good compromise, instead of me going completely crazy on it and just hacking it right back down. What I will do is put a bit of cut paste on this, on these cuts, to help them heal. Well, I'm happy with that. Hopefully now the tree will be able to deal with, you know, this area. It'll be able to put enough water and nutrients up to feed these leaves. I suspect most of these leaves will drop off, these yellow ones, these red ones, and hopefully it puts out some new fresh growth. To help it do that, what I'm going to do is just trim back some of these branches, just to take a bit of length off them, and to hopefully direct a bit more of the energy into this area of the tree. So I'm just trimming these branches down. This is all new growth from this year. The only one that I am going to leave though, if I turn the tree round, I've got sort of effectively the new main leader. If this ends up becoming the tree and I have to remove all that dead stuff, this is going to be the new leader, in which case I will leave that to grow and extend, so that this puts on some extra thickness and length. So I'll leave those alone. And I think that'll do. Because I like these southern beech so much, I went back earlier this year and bought this. It cost me £30, I think it was £30, and it was basically a washing up tub just full of plants. There was about 5 or 6 plants in it, and this was the main one, and I've turned it into a raft style. I really wish this was ready for me to take a look at. I'm absolutely dying to see what's happened. But I just thought I'd explain to you what I've been doing. The roots are in here, planted in just normal bonsai soil. The trunk comes up, wraps around under here, and this is actually the apex of the tree, and I bent it vertically upwards using aluminium wire, which I removed about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And these were all just branches that have now become trunks. So these are planted in sphagnum moss, and I'm hoping next year to be able to take back this gravel and reveal hopefully a new root system and expose the trunk. So I'm really excited about that. I think this could be a fantastic project. So this was the actual tub that the plants came in, including the raft was in here as well. I managed to get 5 plants out of it, and 4 of them have survived. This is one. It's absolutely crazy, the shape of it. I mean, it's like some kind of mad literati style, I don't know. At the moment, I've just let it grow on, and it didn't have many roots attached, but it's done brilliantly this year, and I'm just leaving that for the time being. What would you do? Do you think I should chop it back or just leave it and see what happens? But I kind of like it as it is. This was the only one that didn't make it. It's the smallest and weakest of them all. So if I had to lose one, this was probably the one I would have chosen not to make it. So I was quite lucky, really. Of all the trees that came out of that tub, this is probably the biggest conundrum. You know, what to do with this, I'm not really sure. I'm surprised it made it. It didn't have great roots, but it's got roots coming down from here and from here. I could potentially cut this and turn that into 2 trees, or what else could I do with it? I don't really know. I'm a bit sort of stuck for options with this one. I mean, I quite like it as a plant, but it doesn't look very tree-like to me. Any suggestions anybody has got in the comments would be greatly appreciated. You know, what would you suggest to do with that? I'm at a loss. In many ways, this is, I suppose, the most traditional type of tree. It's quite easy to deal with because this branch has died here, so that can be removed. And in the future, I'll just cut this down. In fact, what I might do with this is I might attempt an air layer up at the top to take this top section off, because I'll definitely be chopping this down. And as I say, compared to the others, this one even seems a little bit boring. This is an interesting tree, again, a Nothofagus, and I bought this as an individual tree. It was a bit of a gamble because he told me it hadn't had a full season in the ground, so he couldn't guarantee it'd live or anything. And I actually got it home and did a repot on it. It didn't have many roots, but it's grown great. I did loads of wiring to it as well, but it's all come on really healthily. There's just one branch at the top that seems to be struggling, so I need to have a look at that now. This branch at the top that I bent up with this wire, it's only got 1 leaf on it, 1 little bud, and that was dying and it's just dropped off. So I think this is a goner, this branch. The reason I actually bought this tree was this cool base. I love the way this sort of comes around on itself, and there's some nice roots coming out from the side, and even on this side, you know, again, it's got these roots coming down. I just think it's a quirky tree. I like it. As we practice bonsai, hopefully we learn from our experiences, and the problems that I've encountered with the first tree I think were because I damaged it with wire. So I now know that Nothofagus doesn't really take well to wire biting in. It just doesn't deal with it. Therefore, I'm going to get this wire off now, and I can always reapply the wire in the winter. So let's crack on. seeing as I did in the end decide to remove the wire off this dead branch, I may as well cut it off. Oh, that was fun. I enjoyed showing you some of my Nothofagus. They're known sometimes as southern beech or false beech as well. They're not actually a beech variety. I think they're from Chile in South America. But they're a great tree for bonsai. They've got lovely small leaves. They seem to grow really vigorously, providing you don't destroy the bark, which I now know. I'm really looking forward to exposing the raft style next year. I can't wait for that. And if you'd like to follow the progress of these trees, hit subscribe. And as always, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon.